thought, the start of the second half was key for us. Getting some transition baskets, getting some steals. Thought we had some active hands at that time, and I think that kind of set the tone for us in the second half. The other difference I thought was their inability to make threes in the second half. They stretched us out a little bit. They were 6 for 19 from three in the first half, and then they were 0 for 13 from three in the second. And that really obviously helped us. I thought our guys did a good job of defending, making it difficult. Everybody always is going to try to pull Zach out and shoot those shots. And, he's done a much better job of getting out there. But, at some point, whether it's Nimhard or Hickman, and those guys did a good job guarding him, you got to try to keep him out of the paint. But with that being said, you get exposed a little bit and you can give up some threes. So we had a lot of different kind of strategies at times on ball screen defense. And we really wanted to go on their personnel, but we didn't want to overdo it. But, the way they started the game and those big guys knocking down those shots, it looked like it was going to be a long night for us. But our guys settled into the game, and like I said, I thought we got a little bit of momentum starting that second half, and then, not letting them get threes or just getting lucky that they missed, however you want to look at it, was really key in the game. And I thought these two guys did a good job on both ends of helping us. And then, Miles Colvin makes, 2 big shots there at the end to kind of close it out. So he doesn't realize they're big shots, but they were. So.
Thanks, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for the players. We'll start with
Lance. In the second half there, Zach and Braden both went to the bench. And you and Trey, you guys kind of 1 minute with them on the bench. How were you guys able to do that?
Just by staying aggressive. Everybody's capable of having a good half, or it's next man up. Could be anybody's night. And with those two out, we just wanted to stay aggressive.
Yeah, right here.
This is for both Lance and Braden. It looked like you guys both really tried to assert yourself with how you were aggressive guarding Nimhard and the other guards. In particular, as the game wore on, Lance in particular, you really face guarded close up. Was that something that just emerged over the course of the game, or was that something that you guys both focused on, given Nimhard's ability to run offense?
Me personally, I feel like to start off, I kind of was letting him get to his spots, to his pull-ups. He was getting downhill a little bit, and I wanted to, lock in and be more physical with him in the second half, and, try to, get into the ball a little bit more. That kind of disrupted him coming off ball screens with the big help and, just trying to be aggressive.
Coach, guys shot 46% from the field, but what kind of sparked the comeback? It was a 9-0 run in the second half.
I thought, just getting stops. You can't, have a run if they keep scoring. And we traded baskets for the one stretch, and I thought that, the 9-0 run there was able to get some stops, get some misses, and be able to push it and get some easy ones. I thought our bench was great. When we subbed right there and got Zach a blow for about 4 or 5 minutes, that was huge. Drake Hoffman had a couple field goals in there. Lance got to the rim on a couple plays, and I think that was key for us. I think Braden, I don't know if Braden was in at that stretch or not, but he had to get a break at some point. Zach had to get a break at some point, and I thought our guys really played well.
right up here up front.
For Braden and Lance, how much did that first 4 minutes of the second half kind of change the pace of the game?
Yeah, I think just our intensity defensively helped us, and obviously when we're all there rebounding and getting it and going, playing in transition, that's super helpful. Kind of get those easy baskets. Like I kicked it up to Lance a couple of times and he got to the rim and was able to make those layups. So really just being able to rebound and get those baskets.
We'll go in the back.
Coach Painter, yesterday, Robert Guam from KIT4, we were talking yesterday about the field and just how strong this is and how we might see a lot of these same teams from the 8 here in March. Can you just talk about the atmosphere and the game itself? And to me, I looked at that side of the court and it felt like a March game.
Yeah, no question. And sometimes you'll see in some of those early games, you'll have open seats, right? If you guys go to the NCAA tournament and you go, somewhere where, your fans can't get there as much, or the other games, and do they stay, or does that city come in? So you'll have sections that are just, jam-packed, then you have other sections where it's not, because they'll come in at halftime and they're always going to root against you if you're the higher seed. It's a lovely feeling. But, you know, to be able to come here and see, like, you know, Gonzaga and their fans and our fans, and they travel, and it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool, but there's no doubt it had an NCAA type tournament atmosphere.
It could be for those guys too. As far as, I mean, this didn't feel like a November game to me. I don't know what you guys thought.
I definitely felt like you know, it was kind of a March game. You know, both of the fans, you know, they were in it. And, you know, we played good. We both played good. It was just a competitive game all around.
Yeah.
Mac, I'm not great at math, but I believe Edie is now 27-30 from the free throw line last 3 games. Just how unique of a big man and the work that he puts in is he?
Yeah, no question. You know, to be able to go to somebody and the attention that he gets, and then when he does get fouled, to be able to make your free throws, you know, it's a confidence booster. You know, we've had it the other way with him a couple years ago, where, you know, we think he has an advantage, but if he gets fouled, is that an advantage for us? Especially if he's not shooting in there in the bonus. And so, as a coach, sometimes you can overthink certain things, especially coming down to, you know, crunch time. But no, he's worked really hard. You know, he's worked really hard on his free throws. He's worked really hard on his game. So obviously, it's fun to coach.
We'll take 2 more questions for Lance and Braden so they can get to the locker room. Yep, up front.
I'll wait till I have a painter on.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
For Lance, how much was this a testament to your guys' ability to just kind of wear people down and kind of keep coming and coming until, you know, things start to turn?
You know, I feel like we stayed connected as a group. You know, they came out and, you know, they were hitting, you know, tough shots, but we never let it get to us. We stayed together because there's only so much the coaches can say. So I feel like, you know, within the group, we stayed together. We knew it was a game of runs, and you know, we just you know, fought it out at the end.
One last question in the back.
For Lance and Braden, what's it like to have a force in the paint like Zach in there to play off of, in general, but also today specifically?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an advantage. Took me a while last year to kind of figure out how to play with him because I'm used to 6'2", 6'3" guys. So it took me a long time. Paint was on me for that for a very, very long time. But now that I finally figured it out, and just kind of letting them work, and then also it helps us on the perimeter as us guards and Fletch. When he's getting double teamed and all that attention, being able for him to make that pass out and get us the ball.
Thanks, Braden and Lance. Now we'll open it up for questions for Coach Painter up in the front.
Matt, just I'll ask you the same thing I just asked Lance. How much was this testament to your guys' ability with your depth and with your physicality to just kind of outlast people sometimes?
Yeah, you know, we didn't, you know, shoot the ball great. And I think a lot of times when you have some skilled guys, now that affects other parts of their game. I don't think it affected other parts of our game. I didn't think we did a great job of boxing out and rebounding the basketball tonight. We had good stretches, but we just were inconsistent. But, yeah, I think to be able to, you know, I wouldn't say that was like an ultimate grinder, but it was still one of those games. It might have, probably to them, it seemed like one. You know, because the way they've always scored the basketball, and they've done such a great job. But, you know, we just couldn't get, you know, that rhythm until the end of, you know, getting stops and getting scores and getting that run and putting that run together to get some separation.
Up front.
Matt, what did you think of Braden's just overall floor game and your confidence in him to just kind of always make the right play?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, we've handled a lot of drops in ball screen defense, and tonight they were high hedging, and we knew that was coming. Obviously, we played them last year, and I thought they did a pretty good job with it. Gonzaga did, and I thought he started a little bit less is more. Like, you know, you can't just attack and get past their outside shoulder every time. If they beat you to that spot, you know, you got to be able to retreat dribble and get the ball out of your hands and get them in rotations and let other people do the work. You know, sometimes he just wants total direct assist, and at times he's got to be able to move it and get those hockey assists. But he's good. I mean, he's got a level of toughness to him. He's got some poise. He can make pull-ups, and you didn't see much of it tonight because the ball screen defense was more aggressive. But just trying to get him to make reads no matter what people are doing. I thought they switched on him one time and he waited and he took the guy and, you know, he got to the rim a couple times when they switched. I thought he did a good job of breaking down the defense. and just making the right read.
We'll take 2 more questions in the back.
Matt, you touched on that stretch when Zach came out for a few minutes in the second half and how important that was.
Yes.
During that stretch, your team still had a large edge in points in the paint, Lance in particular. What does that say about your low post game to still come through without Zach on the floor?
Yeah, you want to live in the paint offensively, and you want to keep it out of the paint defensively to the best of your ability. But yeah, Trey Kaufman-Renn he didn't get off to a great start. But then trying to get him in more minutes, I've kind of screwed up the rotations unintentionally as the game progresses, because I like having him in the game when Zach's not in there. It gives us that other low post threat, even though they start together. And then we didn't get that. And then when we started the second half, I just felt like starting Mason and getting some better spacing to kind of see how they would handle that. If they would overdo things with their 4, then he would get some shots. But they were pretty committed to staying, even though they came in on the dribble some, one-on-one. But then once it went to Trey, we thought they wouldn't come, and they didn't. And so if that was the case, we were going to just try to go to him and let him make some plays. And I thought he did a great job. With that, at that stretch, Lance, got a couple plays where he got in the open court and drove. And I think he made one layup and missed another layup in that stretch.
Final question up front.
Matt, it looked like they did a good job of making sure Edie didn't catch the ball real deep in the block.
Right.
It prevented a lot of easier baskets for him. And we'll most likely see the same thing again tomorrow with Tennessee, which will throw similar size to them.
Right.
What kind of adjustments will you make in game? And it feels like to me you guys did a good job of adjusting that already today.
Right.
How will you make sure that the offense doesn't collapse around?
Yeah, they have a choice in what they're going to do. It's every team that we play. Like, you go into the game and you can watch. What happens is most of the time everybody has a comp on the other team. So you see okay, they're going under pin down, so they're staying tight on pin down, so they're doing things. He doesn't really have a comp. So sometimes you'll watch a lot of film oh, okay, this team's played 18 games. This is how they've handled low post situations. Then you'll face them and then it's totally different, because they feel if they do it that way, he'll have the advantage. So we've seen about everything. I've seen almost everything work at times too. A lot of people say this doesn't work and that doesn't work. It's really the fight. It's like who wants to fight to get deep position? Who wants to fight to keep you from getting deep position? Who wants to be active? Who wants to have an understanding of who they're guarding and weak side help? We've had games where we've had struggles. This isn't something where we just have success every time. But he's smart and he figures things out and he's tough. These guys up here are unselfish, and that's what makes it cool. Because if he's not going to have a big scoring night, then he's a passer, and he's fine with that. As long as he has a big rebound night and then handles his business on the defensive end. But yeah, there's no doubt there's always a little bit of a chess match in terms of what people do and how they do it. The only thing we ask for is just however you're going to call it, just call it the same way for him too. We can't have 2 separate rules here.
That'll do it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.